This is just going to be a list of some features I would really like to see added in the future of Crusader Kings 3. And some of them I do fully believe will be added in future DLCs. And I've just put down some ideas of how this could work. But remember, if you have a different opinion, please comment and let me know. Basically, I'm doing this video as just a discussion, so that's what I'm thinking anyway. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is like being able to build a navy. As I really think Naval Battles could add an insane amount of new content and innovations to the game. Now I do feel this one may be a bit more of a controversial one, as I'm fully aware the current combat system could use some work, but today I just want to talk about future features I'd like to see added, and not too much about the current systems that could be improved. But being able to build a strong navy and defend the shores of somewhere like Britannia with your fleet would just be amazing, I think. The idea in my head was like a new harbour type of building that could be built in the early medieval era, and then over time unlocking new innovations to unlock slightly more advanced ships with increased power, speed and health. This way you could deploy your ships while at war and sail your shores, hoping to catch and take down the enemy armies incoming. I don't think it should be necessary to need ships to travel across the sea. I think the current system in CK3 works just fine for that. But this just could be a separate thing for stopping them and warring with other ships. Or you could use like a strong fleet and attach them to your army to defend from enemy fleets while they actually cross the sea. I mean, this is just a sort of basic idea I do have in my head. So let me know what you think about that one. Now next up is one I really do want, and that is a land transfer system. And this could be just another layer of managing your vassals, and it would be an amazing feature to help manage border gore. Basically you could offer a trade for one of your counties for one of your vassals. This would help keep all your vassals organised with their land in one area rather than just shattered all around the realm, which just looks horrible, and this could be a nice way to fix that. But to actually help balance this, I think some compensation would be needed towards the vassals. Say if the county you wanted to swap with has a really high level of development or a special building there, you would have to trade a county and also pay a good few hundred gold to actually make the trade. This would just be used as a kind of peaceful way to get the counties you want, as sometimes the potential wars are just not worth it. This was just an idea. There would probably need to be a lot more balancing done to this feature, but I do think it's an interesting one. Now, number 3, we have trade. I think trade is surely a feature that could take Crusader Kings 3 to the next level, seriously. But I do think it needs to be done very carefully, as Crusader Kings' focus should always be on the individual characters and their stories, so making it unnecessarily tedious wouldn't really fit the game in my opinion. I think a trade system kind of similar to Imperator Rome could fit CK3 nicely. So you'd have a wide range of different types of goods produced from county to county that each would give different bonuses. Like in Imperator Rome, iron gives you a plus 2% local taxes. And you could have other ones like food that could help with control by keeping people happy, and so on. I'm sure you do get the idea. And this way, if you have more than one of an item, it's counted as a surplus. And then surpluses could be automatically traded out for money income from realms that don't have the goods that you do. This would also be a nice addition to the innovations tab, with extra things like allowing you to have extra export routes, so more kingdoms could trade with you, getting you an even better income. I just really like this system, as it's nothing crazy complex while still adding another layer to the game. I would love to hear if you want trade, but done differently. I'm sure there's many different ways this could be done. This is just kind of a simple idea that I would like added. Now next up we have Bloodlines. Bloodlines is something I'm sure we will eventually get in Crusader Kings 3, as it was a feature that made some playthroughs very unique in the fact that you got to continue existing famous bloodlines in an attempt to make your ancestors proud. So like you're already used to with famous people like Ragnar Lothbrok, that gave opinion boosts between other Viking characters and boosts to a player prowess and raising abilities. And there's just so much that could be added here that can give the player even more options to roleplay a specific way. But the thing I really want is the ability to create your own bloodlines. So if you have a character that was insanely skilled at getting people murdered, eventually they would become so well known for this that their family would carry this fear with them, giving them an increased plot chance to murder people, while having a permanent dread increase of like 20, as this name would most definitely instill fear in those around you. There's of course just so much flexibility in a system like this. We have already seen it in CK2, but I'm hoping we eventually get to see it here too, with many more different options to create your own especially. Societies is another feature from Crusader Kings 2, but for me, it's the most missed one. I loved making a Norse ruler and joining the Warriors' Lodge and attempting to win that first battle to show your skills in front of them. Or you could join the Demon Worshippers and have missions to sacrifice holy people or sacrifice other rulers to earn you respect in your society. This just added so much to the characters in Crusader Kings 2, and it just really made each character stand out from one another, especially with all the different skills that would be unlocked. Like in the monastic orders, after reaching level 4, you unlock the ability to convert counties to your religion. Just so much could be done here with the upcoming Royal Court DLC especially. Possibly like 3D rooms for the societies where you'd see yourself and the other members while discussing missions and so on. But yeah, I'm super excited for the Royal Court DLC. I just think it has so much potential for like future DLCs or future mods that can actually use the throne room and the artifacts. That's probably my most wanted feature from the update. Anyway, next up we have more uses for allies. Other than just the ability to call them to war, such as requesting a loan from them, and if they have spare money they might accept, giving you a certain amount of time to pay it back and maybe a little extra. Or when a war begins, sometimes they may call you to war, but give you the options to send over some of your soldiers that they can take control of, or just send them money over to support them. And I feel like this would just be really useful for when you don't really feel like travelling at that moment, maybe you're busy with something else, but you do still want to support that ally. I know currently sometimes after a few years they might complain, giving you an option to pay them, but I think this could be more useful from the get-go of a war. So you'd have like the usual call to war option, and then a request wartime financial aid, or request support that they can just control your soldiers, or you can control some of theirs. And they would obviously cost less prestige than fully calling them to join in your wars, as kind of makes sense. Now to wrap up the video, I'll go over some smaller features that I really want added to the game. If you're familiar with EU4, you definitely know the Ledger, and it's definitely one of the most wanted features. I don't really understand why it's not in CK3. It's just such an insanely useful tool. To have one place to find the world rankings of manpower, economy, with lists of the most developed nations. Or for CK3 you could have lists for the most advanced cultures and so on. It would just be amazing to have this extra information available to you without having to like manually go through a whole bunch of nations. The ability to search traits by groups, as sometimes trait names just slip my memory. So with this you could search health traits, and all the traits that actually give boosts to your character's health would appear, like Herculean, robust, strong and so on. And this would just make it a lot easier to find people to marry into your family to get good traits. And for other groups, if you search like bright, you get people with like quick, intelligent, genius. It's just a nice simple quality of life improvement. Now we'll end the video on more government systems. I've put it last as I'll keep it short, but more unique governments across the world. Potentially have ones where only specific empires have access to them. Like one for the Roman Empire having a government like it did in ancient times, where there's 2 consuls below you that basically run the republic. So it'll be essential to have people in the position who are good, while also very loyal. I'm not going to go in depth about this, as there are many unique types that could be added, and I'm sure you do get the picture. I mean, this could potentially get added when we get more regional flavor packs, similar to how the Northern Lords one was. Just adding more things to do for specific nations, cultures and religions, but I guess we will have to see. So that is all I have for today, and if you have any other ideas or ways to expand on what I've said, please feel free to comment. Or if you disagree, let me know why. Like for me, I just want more features that give the player more to do while at peace, and the Royal Court does seem promising for that, but we will just have to wait and see. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll end the video with a massive thank you to all the channel members. We have Bayek Von Quark, Arcane, Damien, Intermio1, Irrelevant, Luke Jarrett, and Zigadelic. All your support is so appreciated, but thank you all for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.